So a couple of days ago, I brought you guys news that an update was finally rolling out on the OnePlus Open in North America, 14.00820, and I must admit I did not think I will be talking about this update for a third time, but here we are. It turns out that there are quite a few changes inside this update that are not really mentioned in the actual change logs. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at my OnePlus Open, and I'm going to, as quickly as I can, go over these sort of hidden changes. So something that I missed the first time around, probably because I had my animation speed set to 0.5, so it was much faster, is there are changes in the animations. If I do my swipe down to bring up my notification shade, maybe you can tell the difference here, but it does look very, very different, the way that it sort of rolls down. And to my eye, I think that the background around it looks a little bit different as well. I'd have to somehow go back in some old content and try to compare one to one. But that animation does definitely look a little bit different. Kind of has this nice like bouncy thing going on almost. Pretty cool. Now, I may be wrong, but I swear it seems like these other animations are also slower. It could just be the fact that I was using the 0.5 speed or something like that, but this just seems like preposterously slow to me right now. It's very smooth, but it does feel very, very slow. Keep in mind, if you see like little frames dropped here and there, I am capturing this over a capture card, so things aren't going to be exactly perfect, but that is what the animation looks like loading in and out of an application. Again, it looks very smooth. It just seems a little weirdly slow to me. Now, something that is definitely faster for me, maybe this was a bug I was actually experiencing, but if I was in another application and I did my two-finger swipe down to split the thing apart and go to launch another application, when I would select that second application, I was having this really long delay. Like it would sit there and think about it for like a couple of seconds sometimes before actually launching the application. It seems as though that problem is completely resolved now as apps are loading in just as quickly as they probably should be. Really quickly though, if you want to speed up those animations, I'm sure a lot of you know how to do this, but it's actually really, really simple. If you go into your settings, scroll down to About Device, scroll down to Version, and we are looking for version number. Click that a bunch of times until it says you are a developer. Then you can go to System and Update, scroll down and look for Developer Options, and then we're going to scroll pretty far down. Accidentally clicked on running services. Don't do that. Scroll down to about right there. We're looking for animation scale, window, transition, and animator. Set all those to 0.5 and look how much faster these animations are now running at. Much more responsive feeling than they were before. I don't know why they're set as slow as they are, but this really does seem to help the overall feeling of performance on this device. Here's a pretty interesting one. If we jump into settings, scroll down to apps, and then go into App Cloner, it appears as though they have actually given us the ability, if you go into other apps, to clone not every application, but to clone a whole bunch of applications. There are going to be some that are not going to work correctly, but they've actually unlocked this now where most of your apps are able to now be cloned. I don't personally have like a great reason to do that, but it is really cool that it is at least there as an option now. So another change that they've made is dealing with the enlarged folders. People ask me sometimes how I have these large folders on my screen. Well, if you long press on a folder, you can enlarge and shrink them, and that's literally all I've done. But something that they've changed, I can demonstrate by adding a couple of additional icons to this folder. We're just going to grab couple from the top here, and you'll see what will eventually happen is you're going to get this little folder within a folder, and I don't know how much people really like that, because now if I want to launch the Autobahn app there, I actually have to click and open up the folder and then open up the application, whereas the others, I can just click on it without having to enlarge the folder. So I think it looks pretty good, and I get why they're doing it, right? Because if you have more than 9 apps in there, then yeah, you're going to have to open it up to see the rest of those apps. But for some people that only have just 9, you've added an additional tap to actually launch that 9th app, which might bother people a little bit. So another one I've actually had a couple of people point out to me, I'll use this comment here, to all Canadian users using Rogers and missing 5G, it has been fixed with this update. So that is definitely a pretty cool one for those of you that maybe were having 5G not function correctly. Apparently this update has done something to help fix that. If you go into your wallpaper options, so long press on the home screen and go into wallpapers, now when you go to actually set a wallpaper, you will have a new option. Notice the little blur button on the bottom left next to apply to. If you click on this, it's going to blur the wallpaper. Now, personally, this is good, but not great, because I don't think that there's any way to like change how blurred it is. And I think that that is far too blurred. I would love to be able to kind of dial that in. I don't know why they didn't give us the option. It's cool that it's there, but man, let's split the difference here, or give us a couple of options, and that would really be a lot better. Now, I do want to point out one bug that I have been seeing, and maybe I can actually make it happen here. Let's swipe up and hold. There you go. It did it right on cue. Rather than going straight into the grid, we were in the side-by-side view, and then it switched to the grid. So a little bit of a bug going on there. I do want to say, though, that they have fixed the issue where sometimes when you were going home, your widgets like would not be there. They'd be blank or not loaded in, and then they'd pop in like a second or two later. That definitely does seem to be fixed. Now, there may be even more things hidden in this update that I've just not noticed. I've tried to read through different comments and different Reddit threads, and I've tried to just sort of piece all of this together, explored things myself, and found quite a few things myself as well. I don't think there's anything else major hidden inside this update. So, guys, I don't know why OnePlus, like a lot of companies, don't just put everything in the changelog. Just tell us what you changed. It would definitely make my life a little bit easier. I think it would get people more excited if they actually knew, hey, there's quite a few cool things in this update. Why hide it? I do not know. But anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.